أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum jamiyan wa rahmatullah. Today Muslims are marking the death anniversary of Imam Ali, one of the greatest personalities in Islamic history. I'd like to pay a short tribute to the Imam. As human beings, we are always searching for godly individuals, people who can make us feel the presence of the divine and who bring us closer to Allah. Why? Because they embody divine attributes. Spirituality was the key to the personality of Imam Ali because he saw himself in the presence of the divine. In one of the most beautiful parts of the Dua Kumail, the Imam says, وَهَبْلِ صَبَرْتُ عَلَىٰ عَذَابِكَ فَكَيْفَ أَصْبِرُ عَلَىٰ فِرَاقِكَ. Supposing I can bear your punishment, how can I bear to be separated from you? To put it differently, the pains of separation from Allah were far greater for Ali than the pains of the fire of hell. Imam Ali did not only love or pray to Allah, he adored him. He called out to Allah from the very depths of his heart. And he was also willing to give his life away for the sake of Allah. In the Quran, we read in chapter 2, verse 207, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْرِ نَفْسَهُ ابْتَغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ. Amongst the people are those who are willing to give their own selves for the sake of Allah, for the sake of pleasing God. When was this verse revealed? Commentators are unanimous in agreement that this verse was revealed on the night of emigration, when the Prophet left Mecca to emigrate to Medina due to the dangers of his life. Imam Ali himself slept where the Prophet would sleep. The reporters are unanimous also in saying that on this night, Jibreel and Mikael descended. Jibreel stood at where Imam Ali's head was, and Mikael stood at where the feet were. And Jibreel said, Bakhin, Bakhin, Yabna Abi Talib, Allahu yubahi bikum wal malaikat al-yawm. Congratulations upon you, O the son of Abu Talib, because even Allah is proud of you in front of the angels. Ali is also known as Siratul Mustaqim. Why? Siratul Mustaqim not only means to be on the right path, it also means to know the subtle distinction between serving yourself and serving Allah. Ahmad ibn Hanbal was a Sunni compiler of the Ahadith. He compiled more than 400,000 Ahadith. And he says that having compiled the Fadail, the excellences of all the companions of the Prophet, and the companions and also the Ahadith, the Fadail of Ali ibn Abi Talib, he says the Fadail of Ali far surpass the Fadail of any other companion of the Prophet. Even the words of Ali ibn Abi Talib were inspired. Ibn Abi al-Hadid was a commentator of the Nahj Balagha. He says of the speech of Ali ibn Abi Talib, Duna kalamul khaliq, fawqa kalamul makhluq. Ali's speech was obviously less than, inferior to, the kalam of Khaliq, of Allah, but far greater. His speech was far greater and more powerful than the speech of any human being, apart from the Prophet himself, of course. In the Quran, Allah commands us to be just. Doesn't only want us to be just, He commands us. Why is justice so important? Because the more just a person is, the closer he or she is to Allah. If you want to see justice, look at the personality of Ali ibn Abi Talib. He is reported to have said in the Nahj Balagha that if I was given everything that is in the seven heavens and everything that is on the earth and everything that is in between the heavens and the earth, just so as to take one husk of barley away from an ant, I would not do it. It's just how just Ali ibn Abi Talib was. Many a times when power goes to the head, we find that the faith departs from the heart. Therefore, it is very important that those who are most powerful identify themselves with those who are most powerless. Here is an anecdote which shows to us what power meant to Ali ibn Abi Talib. As he was walking the streets of Kufa, he met a person who was obviously very poor, hungry, and not properly clothed. The Imam turned towards his companions and he said, "Ma hadha?" They said, "This was just a Christian who is visiting Kufa." The Imam says, "I did not ask you, man hadha?" I did not ask you, who is this? I asked you, what is this? Whether he's a Jew, Christian, or a Muslim is immaterial. He is a human being. You must respect his dignity. Feed him, clothe him, and make sure that he is properly fed and looked after. Because as long as Ali ibn Abi Talib is the Khalifa, no human being will walk around like this. Ali was the only caliph in history who came to power by the will of the people. Otherwise, many of them just came through their own strength and brute force. Abuse of power, my friends, is very easy and tempting, especially when a person has lots of it. And here was Ali ibn Abi Talib, who although was the Khalifa of Allah and the Caliph of all Muslims, yet when he died, he had no gold, no silver left, only 700 dirham and a few material things. And therefore, it is reported that he said, "Ya Hamra, Ya Safra, gharri ghairi." O gold and silver, go and deceive somebody else. Ya dunya, talaqtuki thalatha. O dunya, I have given you the triple talaq. Ali ibn Abi Talib was a person of those who were poor. He did not identify himself with the rich ones. And therefore, many commentators say that when Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein were returning from Najaf, at that time it was called Ghari, having buried their father, they heard a person cry. Imam Hassan went close to him and said, "Why are you crying?" The person said, "I am poor. I am blind. A person used to come and feed me. For 3 days, he is not coming." The Imam asked him, "Did he tell you his name? Who was he?" And the person said, "He never told me. I would ask him, 'Who are you? What is your name?' All he would say was, 'Al-miskinu jalisun miskin.' A poor person is sitting next to a poor person." This was the character of Ali ibn Abi Talib, that even on his deathbed, when he was giving the wasiyah, the testament to his own family, what does he say? That make sure that you reconcile the people. Look after the orphans. Look after your neighbors. Always speak the truth. Help the weak. This was the character of Ali ibn Abi Talib. I leave the final words to him because Ali ibn Abi Talib was unparalleled apart from the Prophet in human history. Why? Because Ali was the only human being who was born in the house of Allah and was also martyred in the house of Allah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.